This video is brought to you by my awesome Patreon supporters. To help support my work, keep my videos ad-free, and get rewards, follow the link in the description below. You can then select a tier depending on your budget, and every little bit helps. Thank you! What is up, guys? Sente here, and this is day 7, or the wrap-up of this entire tournament training montage prepping experience. I was at the tournament all day today. It was just such a great experience. The feeling of being with other people in real life that love Go, and we were talking about it and playing applications and geeking out about it and like playing games was such a cool experience that if anybody out there has not gone to a Go tournament or a Go meetup or some sort of real life Go event, I highly recommend you do. Try to find one. If there's nothing there, make one. Be the change, right? Because it was just incredible. I just want to sort of give a wrap up to how the tournament went and how our week in general went. So the tournament was very roller coastery, but it ended on a great note. I was not in the right mindset when I first got there. It was stuff with my car because my car was in a spot and the meter was about to run out like during my game. And also I was just caught off guard. I wasn't in the right mental state. I didn't play very well. So I lost that game. But I came back to win the next game by 1.5 points. Half a point, actually. It was an incredibly close game and it was exhilarating. The next game I played was also against a 2-don and lost by about 10 to 11 points, but it was still a very good game. Then the last game I played of the day, I managed to win by killing a giant dragon. And it was one of the most epic, well-played games ever. And I managed to beat a 3-don in the tournament. So we finished 2-2. We got victories against a 1-don and a 3-don, lost against a 2-don and a 1-don. But overall, it was such a huge success. My ranking was exactly where it needed to be, and my training absolutely paid off. So I want to show you guys the beginning of one of the games that I had played, because I still remember it, and show you guys how our tournament training from this week came into play in the tournament. So I was playing white, and my opponent opened up with the low Chinese. I approached, he pincered, we did our standard thing. I did a light approach here. And he approached me here. Now I remember I wanted to tight pincer this. And I'm sure there's arguments where you could tight pincer this. But I remembered days 5 and 6 of our training where we learned that opening. Where if you have a high stone here and your opponent pincers, it's conceivable to do a loose pincer. To try to have your stones work better together. So black doesn't really have a good way to just tanuki away from this stone and sacrifice it. And this actually worked out. I don't remember the exact variation, but I remember it started and it was something like this. And I was actually able to get a wall here and come back and defend this group with this wall to have a huge influence and moyo on the right to the top side. And I was only able to do that because I pincered loose instead of tight, because I was sort of trying to apply what I had learned in the book that I had read on days 5 and day 6. Overall, my training with Tyler really helped me stay calm in the game, helped me mind my groups, make sure that my groups were safe. Like after I approached, I made sure to defend my group, which helped me in the long run. And more than that, we set a schedule for ourselves and we set goals for ourselves when we started this whole tournament training week. If you remember from day 1, I had a very set schedule for how I wanted to learn, what I wanted to accomplish. And for the most part, we did it. We're motivated. We're excited to improve. We got really great lessons, and I think I got a lot stronger from this entire experience. I think I got way stronger prepping for the tournament than I would have if I would have just went cold into the tournament. I think I was able to enjoy the tournament a lot more because I was really trying to prepare and learn as much as I could beforehand. So some takeaways I wanted you to get from this whole week of training, my tournament experience, everything. And I'm going to be writing more about the tournament in the article. I might even make a whole separate article about it. And that is, when we were training, your progress and how much better you get at something is so dependent on how you go about doing it and how efficiently you go about doing it. And I highly recommend, if you do have a goal, if you're prepping for a tournament, it doesn't have to be a Go tournament, it could be anything you're really preparing for, to create SMART goals. And what are SMART goals? I'm feeling like most people have heard this name get thrown around because it's in so many different self-improvement seminars and books, but they're specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-oriented. And if we take a look back at our schedule, we had created SMART goals for ourselves for our improvement. We had very set, specific tasks that are measurable. We told us exactly how many games you were going to be playing. We told us what the main time was. We told us what our break was. We told us that we were going to identify the weak points after we were done. We said that we wanted to address those weak points in game 2 and get a teaching game with feedback and put all of this together to get a comprehensive analysis of our game. Those are all specific and measurable goals. And we did not let up on that. We segmented our days, we truncated our time. And don't forget, I'm working a 9 to 6 job. I'm working a full-time job. And I was able to do all this after I got home from work, in between dinner, after dinner, for just a week. I put off my engagements that I usually do during the week, and I was just able to focus on this. So it definitely is possible to do with a busy schedule. And if you're smart about your goals, you can make a lot of improvements in a relatively short amount of time very efficiently. Another thing I want to talk about in this tournament is sort of fighting imposter syndrome. So this was my first tournament in literally years. The last tournament I went to, I was an 11Q, and it was 3 years ago. It was when I took a break from Go for a little over a year. And this was before I had taken that break. And it was an incredible experience, but I would look over at all these really strong looking Don players playing on the nicer boards all the way up in the room in boards 1, board 2, board 3, all the people taking up the beginner boards. I'm over on board 18, board 19, little cardboard basically thing. Being like, man, I wish I was that good. I wish I was that good. And I got that good. But I've never been in a live tournament setting before. And when I got to that tournament today, I was scared as crap. Like, I did not think I was worthy of calling myself, a 1-Don player or, whatever my rank online was. Something about being in real life just makes things completely different. And there was a lot of imposter syndrome. And I played my first game horribly because of just my mental state was not right. But during the second game, I started to get into my groove. I started to, start playing more sensible moves. I was getting into my rhythm. And once I got my first win, I was like, wow, maybe I can swing it here. Like, maybe I can belong here. And, after even in the game that I lost against the 2-Don, knowing that, they're thinking about what I'm doing, they're having a hard time figuring out what to do, making them concentrate and making them work for it, even if I lost by 10 points, was an incredible feeling. And getting that win against the 3-Don in my final game was one of the best feelings ever. It was just total validation of all of my hard work. And so if you are feeling a little bit of imposter syndrome, whether it's in Go, whether it's in life, I know it sounds cheesy, but you gotta own your place there, because you know how hard you've worked to get to where you are, and you know you're worth it. So play your stones with confidence, go get it, kill it. Because you deserve to be there. Everyone deserves to be where they are. So, and the last thing I wanted to share with you guys as a takeaway is to connect with people. No one's going to be a professional Go player, right? If you're in your 20s and you're playing Go, you're not going to be a professional. Have fun improving. If you don't have fun improving at the game, what are you doing? Seriously. have fun improving, and connect with people. The opportunity to have real life people that share Go in the West is very, very rare. And that was one of the things that really helped me relax and unwind before my second game, was being able to review games and look at games and talk to people who were just as into Go as I was. It really helped me feel like I belonged and like I felt at home. So make sure that if you do go to a tournament, connect with the people, make Facebook friends, take pictures, review your games, like talk to people. Don't just be on your phone, because the game is so much more fun when you're doing it with other people. So that wraps up my 1 week to compete series. I sincerely thank you for following me through this entire awesome journey, from the rats invading my home and keeping me up all night on day 2, sabotaging my games, going 0-3 in my practice games, to a super awesome game review, to some really great tips in my self-study day 5 and 6, crushing it in my practice games on the final day, to going 2-2 in the tournament and having an amazing time. So total success. This experiment worked out perfectly, and I hope you guys get something from it. Leave a like in the comments and description below how you felt after your tournament, if there are things that you did that helped you make the most out of your time competing. And I look forward to making new videos and new content for you guys. So with that, I say goodbye. Thank you so much for sticking with me throughout the series, and I'll see you on the grid sometime in the future.